Hello guys, welcome to a new video of the Fischer series. Today we look at round number 15 of the Candidates Tournament of 959. It's Fischer against Keres, and in this game we see Fischer crushing the London system in only 27 moves. It's a beautiful game and I can't wait to show you, so let's just dive straight into it. Keres has the white pieces and he starts with d4. Fischer responds with knight to f6, knight to f3 and g6. So he usually goes for the King's Indian defense with c4, knight c3 and e4, but here Keres plays bishop to f4, and now we're in the London system in which you play e3, c3, knight b to d2, bishop to d3, and you just have a very solid structure. Fischer plays bishop to g7, now we have knight b to d2, so still not saying whether we will play e3 or e4, because if you castle here we can also just go for e4 straight away. So Fischer here plays c5, and after c5, Keres can actually take, but then we simply have knight to a6. We will win it back. You cannot defend it because the knight's defending the b4 square. And okay, you can still play e4. It is defended, but then after c takes, knight takes, and d5, you cannot really push through here because then we have knight to h5 attacking the bishop. Bishop has to move, and then we win the pawn. So after c5, we have c3 by Keres, c takes, and now d5 to still gain control over the e4 square. And after d5, Keres makes an interesting decision. Usually in the London system, you play e3 here to develop the bishop and castle, or you can play h3 to make some space for the bishop. But here, Keres plays bishop takes b8, taking the knight. And he just gives away the bishop pair. Because after rook takes b8, now we have queen to a4 check, bishop d7, and now queen takes a7. So Keres is actually up a pawn here. But the problem here is that you still need 1, 2, 3 moves to castle, while Fischer just needs 1 move. So tempo-wise, time-wise, he's up and he can start an attack earlier on. And that's what Fischer does. He plays knight to e4 straight away. And well, can we not just take and double black's pawns? Well, then after knight to d2, we have e3. And after f takes, you doubled white's pawns. You opened up the king side. Those pawns are, well, the bishop cannot activate here, and the king is very unsafe. So it's a very unpleasant position for white. That's why Keres doesn't take. He plays e3. But now after knight takes, Fischer still goes for e5. He doesn't castle yet, because he really wants to open up those dark squares and get way more space for his dark squared bishop before Keres can castle. So after e5, Keres plays knight to b3 to defend this pawn again. Now castles by Fischer. Queen to c5, because the queen on a7 is a bit misplaced. You want to get it back into the game. Rook to c8 by Fischer, attacking the queen. Well, you can't take this pawn, right? It's undefended. Well, after taking the pawn, we're up 2 pawns, but now Fischer has queen to e7. The queen can take another pawn. Queen takes b7. So Keres is up 3 pawns here, but just look at the engine, plus 2.5. Well, that's because we have way more initiative here. Rook to b8, queen to c7, rook to c8, queen to a5, e takes d4. You cannot take it back because you're pinned. And if you take with the knight, you're just losing a piece. So now you're up 2 pawns, bishop to e2, up 1 pawn, castles, pawn takes, rook takes, bishop takes, and now we're equal in material again. And black's position is just way better, way more active. 2 bishops in an open game against bishop and a knight. Those rooks look fantastic, and I mean, this is just way better for Fischer. So that didn't happen. That's why Keres doesn't take the d5 pawn. He goes to b4 here. And after queen to b4, Fischer activates his other rook, and now all the pieces are looking beautiful here. Bishop to e2, Keres needs 1 more move to castle, and he's up 1 pawn. But here Fischer plays e takes d4, which is actually not the best move. Better is queen to g5, because after castles we have bishop to h3, threatening checkmate. If you play g3, you're losing the rook, and you cannot defend it with the bishop. Then we have e4, so you're losing a piece. That's why bishop to or queen to g5 is such a strong move. But here e takes d4, and now we have knight takes d4, and queen to h4. A really nice move. Because still you cannot castle here. We have bishop takes knight, queen takes, pawn takes, and rook takes e2. And it's 3 pieces against 2 pieces. So this would be winning. That's why after queen to h4, you can still not castle here. So, okay, we cannot castle. Keres is like, okay, fine. Maybe I cannot castle. Then we just take another pawn, right? Queen takes b7. I'm attacking the bishop. I'm attacking the pawn. What can you do here? Well, actually, Fischer just ignores those threats. He plays the best move in the position, which is bishop takes d4. And you cannot take it back because then we have rook takes e2, king takes e2. We give not a check on e8 because this would just lead to king to f1, and this is very safe for white. But actually, rook c2, king d1, and queen to e4. And this is actually a mating net. You cannot prevent the mate here. So, okay. Keres is like, well, fine. Let me just take the d7 piece then, the bishop. You took my knight, I took your bishop, I'm still up a pawn here. Well, now we have bishop takes b2, rook to d1, and bishop c3 check. King to f1. And material-wise, if you count the pawns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, 2, 3, 4, but this pawn is very weak. But the problem in white's position is that this h1 rook is basically out of the game. It cannot enter the game for a long time. And we are playing with 4 pieces, while white is playing with 3 pieces here. So it's actually a way better position for black. And here Fischer plays a really nice move, d4. Because after e takes d4, we were going to lose that pawn anyway. We have queen to e4. 2 pieces attacking the bishop on e2. Well, how can we defend it? We cannot defend it with the rook because those squares are attacked by the bishop. Well, we can bring the queen to g4 or to b5. And actually, b5 would be the better move because then, well, Keres played g4, but now we have queen to c2. And if you had played queen to b5, queen to c2 would lead to queen to d3. And now everything is holding. But by playing queen to g4, queen to c2, now we can even win this pawn. Keres tries to play g3, trying to get his king into safety and bring the rook into the game. And here we have a really engine-like move. I would say try to pause the video here and find this amazing move by black. So in this position, it's a really hard move. Fischer didn't find it. Bishop to d2. Well, how does that work? We were attacking this piece twice, and now we're just attacking it once with the rook. Well, it looks like we can now run with the king to g2. But now we have h5. Queen has to go to f3 to defend the e2 bishop. But now we have rook to c3. We're attacking the queen, so bishop to d2. The reason was to make a loft for the rook. Now we're attacking the queen. The queen cannot stay on this diagonal to defend the bishop. It has to go to d5, and now we win a piece. That's why bishop to d2 is such a strong move. But Fischer didn't find it. He played queen takes a2 to still keep pressure on the bishop, which is very logical. And Keres actually cannot play king to g2 because then we just simply take the piece. So he's like, okay, I cannot move my king. I cannot move the h1 rook. What can I do here? Let me just attack your rook. And I'm also getting away of this, right? So how can this be a bad move? Well, it's actually a losing move because now Fischer has one move to win the game. It's not moving the e8 rook. It's actually queen to d5, attacking the b5 bishop and attacking the h1 rook. Because if you move the rook, we just win the bishop for free with check. If you take the rook, which happened in the game, we have queen takes h1, king moves. Now rook takes e8. We're up a piece. It's 3 pieces against 2. And again, you're in check. You have to move. And now we have bishop to e1, which is an amazing move. Because after bishop to e1, we're not getting attacked. And we will play queen to f1 with check. So what can you do here as white? I mean, nothing. Because if you try to attack the rook, simply queen f1 check, king to c2, queen c4 check, king to b2, rook b8 check, and wherever you go it's mate in 1. Bishop c3 is checkmate. And if you go to a3, it's checkmate like this. I mean, this was such a beautiful game because Fischer really demonstrated that even though you can be down in material, 1 or 2 pawns, if you have the initiative, you can definitely outplay your opponent. So, this was a beautiful win. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. If so, please subscribe, like, or comment. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.